I hope you'll forgive me for being Captain Obvious about this one, but I was dead wrong about the next expansion pack. It's going to be monks and not sea witches. As such, there's not all that much point in frantically working on the Pearl Simulator anymore, though I still want to finish it. In principle, it might be helpful for helping to figure out the monks' light and dark force systems, but I don't know. I'm not really putting that as a high priority right now. I guess Blizzard has learned from previous expansions that it's hard to keep things from the community. Remember the Wrath of the Lich King alpha trees? We got our hands on those, even though Blizzard didn't want us to. So I guess they learned from those mistakes, and now they're releasing plans early on so that they can get feedback. And Blizzard's communication absolutely amazes me. One of Ghostcrawler's blog posts even gives direct responses to negative feedback. Now that is not Blizzard's style from historically. Now it's a very pivotal time for the game right now, in terms of what Blizzard decides for its overall goals for the classes, what feedback people give, how they puzzle things out, and what ideas people come up with. This really reminds me of another pivotal time for the game, when Wrath of the Lich King was coming out. Back then, there was this site called wartools.com. It was convenient, free, and let you make your own talent trees. I used it myself fairly extensively. My expectation is that wartools.com really enabled much better communication at a pivotal time for the game, and I'm really glad that we had it, but now, unfortunately, the site has gone stagnant and wartools.com will be closing down pretty soon now. It would be really nice if there was a tool that could mimic Mists of Pandaria talent grids. Yes, I'm calling them talent grids now because they don't resemble trees anymore. Anyway, these talent grids are much simpler in terms of their structure. With the old tree system that's in live now, there were ranks, there were prerequisites like you couldn't get Tower of Radiance until you got Beacon of Light, there were spending requirements, you couldn't get to the deeper parts of the tree until you spent 5 points in a previous tier, all that sort of thing. None of that is there in Mists of Pandaria. So it'll be much easier to implement a tool like this. You'd think wartools.com would be able to make a simulator like that, but I guess they don't have any programmers. I know what you're all thinking. longWriter, you are a programmer. Well, I have worked with JSPs and servlets before. I've worked with tables, so I know how to lay things out, but really, who am I kidding? I have no excuse not to volunteer. In fact, the only thing going for me right now, for those of you watching this who want me to volunteer to help wartools.com build a new tool, the only thing that's going for me is the fact that I already did volunteer and never got an answer. I guess I volunteered too late and they already decided to shut the site down. So unfortunately, the only way that tool is going to come into existence is if some company like, say, Google or something offered free data storage and online app hosting, and then I get off my fat backside and make the tool. And I did some research, and it turns out Google does have free data storage to a point and free online app hosting, so what am I waiting for? I'm not. Check the link in the description. Happy New Year, everybody.